and let's get things started. All right, loud and clear. The stream is clear. Amazing. Awesome. Let's get it started. So today we are, as you guys remember, yesterday I was live with Kazi and we dropped down a Airtable form down below in the description. You guys can see it right now as well, where you can request something, whatever you want us to build for you, and that's literally what is gonna happen today. So I took a look, so I've taken a look at it, and actually I picked one that I think would be an amazing thing for us to build here right now, and that is actually going to be a Redux Redux user authentication service, or actually user authentication service with Redux, and we will just save the login data. So basically a session management, if we can say. And there is something wrong with the stream because it's not streaming at the right place. So, okay, now we're getting there. Okay. All right, I'll wait a little bit because things are getting together finally. Okay, Pranav says, I really needed it. Amazing. We have 20 people live. I will wait just a tad so everybody can get on. We had some sort of technical stuff happening in the background with all this streaming fanciness. So excuse me for that. But we are live. The Clever Programmer family never stops. And we will get going in just a minute. So this project, this is not about the looks. This is not about how it will turn out at the end. Honestly, we will have 2 buttons and all the other stuff is going to be technical and seriously focused on Redux. And by the way, if you guys want to, we can do a Q&A session later on Clubhouse. So actually feel free to join us on Clubhouse every single day at 8 a.m. Pacific time on Clubhouse. It is called Coffee with Developers by Clever Programmer. We are going live there every single day answering your questions. So make sure to check in there. So we have a few viewers already. Amazing. Welcome, everybody. And I think we can soon get started. Are you guys excited? Let me know in the chat and punch that like button like that. So let me know if you guys are interested in today's session so we can get started. All right. What is this all about? I don't know anything about Redux. I am a Flutter developer. So Redux is actually a state management thing, state management tool for, dang, those went together. Okay, like that. So Redux is actually a state management tool for React. So this is more for web development purposes, but you are welcome here. And whenever you are developing the web, feel free to use Redux. All right. Okay, everybody is interested. Amazing. I see all the comments coming in. Yes. All right, let's get this started. Is Redux similar to Context API? So in the core level, it is similar, but it's so much easier to use, especially with this library that I'm about to show how to use with. So be sure to get excited about that because this is super beginner friendly. Anybody can learn it, but I'm here to teach you so you don't have to waste your time on it. It kind of took me a good 2 hours to figure it out, but yeah. Okay, everybody is interested. Amazing. I see the chat is blowing up, so that's good. And all right. Guys, please make sure not to spam the chat because I will just ban you. I don't like getting it cluttered. All right. So with that said, I will go ahead, share my screen. And okay, it should be live and we're good. Okay, we got Mozart in the house. Dope. All right. So you guys see this is the folder that I will be working in. And I have a terminal open. I hope this is actually easy to read for you guys, and I don't know if you like the music in the background. But anyways, this is what we will be. This is where we will start building this Redux thing. So one thing that I want to share with you is how easy a Redux application is. So you just want to go ahead, type in, just like if it was a create React app, we will do the exact same thing. So we will type in npx create React app space dot, because I want this to be in that specific folder where I'm at right now. And I would just hit dash dash template and Redux. And that's it. It will go ahead and create a Redux app for us. So that's super easy. Let's wait for it just a little. Right now, I am actually using Yarn. Most people use NPM for their package management. There is not too much of a difference. Basically, Yarn is so much faster that I highly recommend everybody goes ahead and uses that instead of NPM. So that's just a little thing. And Amanath, please let me know if there is some sort of issues. And by the way, huge shout out to Amanath. He is in the background and making sure everything is working perfectly. And we are on actually a call, so he can let me know if something's up. So give a huge applause for him. All right, amazing. Okay, we got some positive vibes in the comment. Let's go. That's amazing to see. All right. Do you have to do anything like npmi-g Redux for a beginner? Nope, not at all. Not at all. This will know its thing. You don't have to install anything beforehand. So that's all you have to do. npx create React app dash dash template Redux. That's all you need to do. All right, amazing. All right, let me go ahead and quickly drink a bit. All right, yeah, Amanath in the comments. Let's go. All right, amazing. So what we will do, like this is all we got. Like I think it's pretty like you guys know this. This is how you build a React app. If you haven't worked with React, this might be a kind of like a next level for you, but don't worry about that. We have all the content for React all on this channel, and we will actually drop a React for beginners type of sort of content. And please make sure that only communicate in English in the chat, because yeah. And we got this question: is Redux the same to React or what? No, it's not. It's actually an extension to React. So you know hooks, right? You know use state, right? You will start using Redux once the use state is not good enough, right? So what I want you guys to understand is, let me actually go ahead and do this and this. All right. So hold on a second. What I will do is I'll just start drawing some stuff here. So you know we got this whole application going on over here. Actually, let's go ahead and move everything away from this window. So we got the whole application happening on this side, right? And we have the app component on the top, right? So that's the app. And down here we might have some sort of login component. I'm just throwing random stuff there. We also have, say, cart, if it was some sort of e-commerce application, and we also have a product or something. Let's just stick with the component. Let's just stick with the e-commerce. Maybe here there is a checkout. So you see, like, this is how a React app actually does work. Like, we have all these levels and all these components, and they they go like this. So, and the way you work with props is you can go from here, from app, and go to login, go to cart, go to products, and actually go to checkout by going to cart and then checkout, right? So you can drill these props down there. This is something what we call prop drilling, and you can do that, right? And with some hacks, you can even go the other way, so you can pass props up a level, but there is no way that you can pass props on the same level. And for that, some people actually created a Redux, and that is actually a bubble around the application. Okay, some sort of, think of it like as a data layer, right? It's basically a data layer which contains all the global props, pretty much global states, right? So that's how you should be thinking about Redux. All right. With that out of the way, everything okay, Amana? Okay. Hold on, bro. You got unmuted. Okay. So, is Redux very important for React.js and React Native developers? It is not very, very important, but it is important. So, you need to be able to work with it. And that's pretty much it. All right. So, that said, I'm going to go ahead and go back to the application. So, I already created the app. And now I'm just going to open up a VS Code in here. So that's what we will be working with. And I don't actually want to go crazy on the styling because it's more about just understanding the concept of Redux. So that's something that happens. Okay. All right. I'm just going to zoom in a little. And nope, we are not going to use any kind of map space or nothing like that. We're just building a super simple how to get started with the Redux application, and that's all. Okay. All right. It's clear. Amazing. All right, cool. Benefits of Redux. The benefit is that you can get a job, mostly. Like, there is so many more state management tool that is actually better than Redux. And even the creator of Redux says you shouldn't always use it. So right now it's on the top of the hype curve. So the biggest benefit is that you can get a job in an easier way. All right. Hey, let's go. So, PyTech Solutions requested it. Today's video is brought to you by PyTech Solutions because he was the one who actually requested this topic. So, give a huge applause for him. All right. With that said, let's take a look at how this application looks like. And I'm just gonna say yarn start to open up a Safari tab. Because if you're not using Safari, what are you doing, right? Guys, let me know who is a Safari guy here. It can't be only me. It can't be only me. Let me know who is a Safari guy. All right. So opening up the VS Code. Here we go. Or what is it, Safari? Manas is not me. Okay. So this is what we get. This is pretty familiar. This is kind of how the React app looks like. It's just there is this incrementer stuff and add amount, and I could even add 20, and that's how it works. I am an Opera and Chrome guy. Oh my god. Nobody uses Safari. How should that's bad. Guys, use Safari. Okay. So that's how the base Redux app works. I will just remove everything in here down below below this thing, and we will just have one button at a time that we'll know if we are logging in or logging out. That's all. So we'll actually go hard on understanding how Redux works, because that's why we came here for. All right, with that said, let's go into VS Code. And what I will do is, so you see that inside of there, we got all these new stuff. So there is the app folder and features and counter folder, all this stuff. We don't need any of these. So let's remove all the counter stuff. This is actually the one that increments these items. So, but we're not gonna worry about that. We're gonna build it from scratch. And inside of the store, we just remove these two, and that's it. So going back to the app.js, what we have here is a bunch of stuff. So we will remove everything here, these counter stuff and all that. So we don't need any of those. So let's remove that and everything down here. Like that. Oops, I left this span and we should be good to go. Yes. Let's take a look at the chat if there is something going on. React Redux app looks more interesting than the React app. That's actually correct. That's so correct. All right. We got 70 people in the house. That's amazing. And let's actually continue. So step number one, let's actually understand what we will do. We will have two buttons based on if we have a user logged in or not. The other one is going to be shown, obviously. So yeah, that's pretty much what we will do. And one of them is going to sign in and then pass the logged in user's data into Redux. And the other one is actually going to sign out the user. So that's pretty much it. We will have two functions that will take care of all these things. Did my camera freeze? Oh boy. Dang. Come on. Hold on a second. All right. Okay. And let's see if I can bring it back somehow, or maybe not. All right, camera, and enable built-in. Okay, we got one camera. That's not the one that I want to. Come on. Hold on a second. That's a shame. That's a huge shame. All right. Let's see. Okay, my camera's back. Dang. Okay, that was crazy. Yeah. Okay. All right, we should be good to go. Okay. So, that said, let's go ahead and continue. Carry on where we left off. Hi, everybody who's joining. We are going to be building some sort of super simple Redux app and user authentication. So that said, let's actually understand what's going to happen. First, let's go ahead and add the authentication, and then we will go ahead and mess with all the stuff, all the other stuff. All right. So, going to FireBase, because obviously we will use FireBase for this purpose. Okay. And in here, I'll just go into console on the top right corner. And going in, I already have this project, Auth Redux, because that's how I prepared for this one. But I will just go ahead and say Auth Redux and say live. So that's what I will do. I'm creating a new project for this one. I don't need any of the Google authentication stuff, so let's not worry about it. Hello? Can you guys hear me? What the fuck? Come on. Everything is coming together. Okay. Now you should be hearing me. Okay, done. Okay, now. Come on. Where did you guys... Okay, where was it left off? Manat, help me out. Okay. So, coming back into FireBase. So we will link a web application like I tried to say, but didn't work. So I will click this very button right over here. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to the name part. All right. Going back to the name part, add new project, which you know what? I'll just do the whole thing again. I'll just do it again. All right. I will just give it a name. I'm calling it Auth Redux and live. And now I'm just going to add a 2 because it's the second one. Yeah. All right. And there is no need for Google Analytics and any of that kind of stuff. So we will just not worry about that. All right, dope. Okay, are you guys following me? Everybody is okay? Yes, I will make a FireBase tutorial for React.js developer. That's something I was talking about probably when I was muted for some reason. So yes, I will make a FireBase tutorial for React.js developers. I think I will drop it as a separate video, not a live session, because there is just so much things that I prefer to have that in one video, and you guys can go ahead and watch that. But I will be in the chat the whole time answering all your questions and then making a Clubhouse session or some kind of Q&A session so you guys can actually ask your questions regarding that video. So right now I'm gonna go ahead, hit that button over there, which will be a web application adding button. And by the way, guys, it would mean the world to me if you could go ahead and just give that like button a smash so that it looks blue, because then this video will go out there and it just helps us out, and we know that it is a good content that we produce. So if you could do that, I would be super thankful for that. All right, let's continue. Plus, by the way, smashing the like button is the best way to become a developer. Just throwing it out there. All right, next up, I'm gonna name it here. Again, I need to name this the application that I will create. Yo, what's up, Authorwa? So, by the way, Authorwa is a student inside of our course, Profit with JavaScript. So, and we just had today a Q&A session call, and he was there. So, by the way, if you guys are interested in that, make sure to check that course out. All right. So, I will call this Auth Redux and live. And I also set up FireBase hosting, but we will not host it today. If I could give 1,000, I will. That's amazing. All right. Yes, can we use MERN stack for FireBase like Fern replace MongoDB to FireBase? I mean, there's not too much point of being full stack if you're using some sort of serverless stuff. So I wouldn't really recommend, but you can totally do that. You can 100% do that. All right. So going down here, once I added my application, I have this config, and that's what you need to copy. Going back to our VS Code, let's just create a firebase.js file. And that's where we pretty much want to paste that. Now, before we go any further, I want to install the dependencies, so the npm packages. So what I will say is yarn add FireBase and FireBase tools for perfect compatibility. So, all right. So this is something that you need to do, and I got thirsty again. right now making a typing speed multiplier game using Mern and Socket.io. I will show you the complete. Amazing. Yes. 100% show me. Amazing. All right. So this will do its stuff for a little. But in that time, I'll just reorganize my windows. So you guys can already see that it is actually, so why Yarn is so much better. Kai, when you're editing this, please clip this one out. So why is Yarn so much better? Yarn actually installs several packages at the same time. That makes it so much faster. So that's something that you want to keep in mind when you're debating between using Yarn or using NPM. So that's something you guys want to keep it up. Hey, let's go. We got our first donation from Yosam. I'm not sure if I'm saying your name correctly. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. So yeah, let's go ahead and now import FireBase. And let's continue working. And we obviously imported from FireBase. Hey. RSI, awesome. So, and now we just want to set up all the authentication stuff. So we pretty much not do anything. We will just go ahead and set everything up. And don't be sorry about how much you donate. Anything you do for us, actually the fact that you're here with us is such an amazing feeling for us. So you don't have to. We really appreciate every single penny you guys donate. So whatever. Yeah, don't worry about that at all. All right, next up, let's create a FireBase app instance. We thank you for being here and helping us out. All right, so what we do is we will create a FireBase app, right? And that's going to be a FireBase initialized app, and we will just throw in all the config files, right? That we grabbed from here. So once again, go back to FireBase, grab this snippet of code, create a new file called firebase.js, import FireBase, add in the config snippet, and then just go ahead and create a FireBase app using the firebase.initializeApp method or function or whatever it is, and then throw in FireBase config. All right, makes sense? Let's go. Okay, with that said, we need two more things to be exported. One of them being auth and provider. These are actually going to be our Google authentication backend, right? So what we will do is we're just gonna, like the usual way, const auth equals firebase.auth, and it's a function. Amazing. Once again, and we will have the provider, which is going to be a new FireBase auth, and it's a Google auth provider. Okay, so that's what we will make. And guys, if you guys want to go deep into this amount, please drop the PWJ link in the chat. Make sure to go ahead, check that course out, because we do it every day. You can ask us questions. We have coaching calls. We have all this kind of stuff. So make sure to check in. All right. Are you going to use Google Auth or email password? I'm going to use Google Auth. It's much better. Plus, by the way, email password is not secure anymore. I mean, nobody considers it secure anymore. So that's something you want to avoid. All right, and we will just go ahead and export both auth and the provider. Okay. That said, we're pretty much good on the FireBase side. One thing we still need to do is go back to FireBase and then just turn on the backend. That's all. So you'll just go ahead, click get started. It will go ahead and show you this screen. And once you're in Google, you just want to hit enable, add your email address, and save. And you're good. That's it. You just turn on your backend. Simple as that. All right. So, we are good on that side. And now what we want to do is go into features and create a new files. So what I want to do is add a user slice. And this is where Redux will come in, okay? So now make sure to pay close attention because we are getting into Redux. So far, everything is something that we've already done on this channel. So you guys can watch it several times. Even me explaining it or Kazi explaining it. So we have this sort of content on this channel. So now we are getting into the new stuff. All right. So in here, before we actually get started, whenever David is writing on VS Code, I'm not sure. Okay. Going back here. So what now it's time to pause. Because if you guys don't have the ES7 snippets, you will be lost, okay? Now is the time to go ahead and install that thing. I will have a separate video explaining all the best extensions for VS Code that you guys can go ahead and download in 2021. It will be dropping in a few days. So make sure to check that out too, because I'm going to talk about it in depth. Why is it important? But you want to go ahead and search for ES7 and then download this extension. You need this. You will get lost without this one. All right. So considering you have already done that, I would just type in RX slice. Boom. That's it. That's how we are setting up Redux. Once again, if you don't have that extension, you cannot do this. You want to have that extension. So once again, ES7 React Redux GraphQL snippets, you need this one, okay? All right. Hola, Marcelo. Amazing. Okay, so now I've shown you twice how to install that, so make sure to have it. And once again, you want to type in RX slice and just hit return. That's all. That's how we set up something called a slice. A slice in actually Redux is a piece of state which handles several variables and makes them global. So a slice is the most important part that you can have in Redux. You need this. All right. Going back here, let's actually understand what's going on. And dope. All right, so once again, so what we want to do here is just give it a name of user, right? Over here, just give it user because it is the user slice. And it actually does this weird sort of indentation. Which theme am I using? It's a good one. Make sure to watch the video when I'm talking about the extensions, because that is where I am talking about this theme as well. Nope, it's not the material. It's by far not the material one. I'm avoiding material. All right. I'm not going to talk about which theme I'm using. Make sure to watch that video too. All right. So over here, we will just add two pieces of state inside of the initial state. One of them being username, which is going to be null for the first time as an initial state. And the other one is going to be user email, which again is going to be null. Okay. All right, let's. Nope, not Dracula. Neither Dracula. Okay, that's a good one, Atharva. Thanks. I'll take a look at recoil. Okay, so this might already be a little bit confusing, so I will just do this. I will add a comment and I'll just go ahead and create a brand new use state, just how we did the old days. Okay. Nope, it's not the Dracula theme. By far not the Dracula. So this is how a normal state used to look like, right? So user name and set user name equals use state and something. Okay. So notice the pattern. Okay. Notice the pattern. What's happening here? We are defining the initial state. This is the initial state in a regular use state. This is the initial state. That's what goes there. Okay. Super easy. Nah, this is a better one than Andromeda. Okay. So this is what happens here. Okay. I'll just show around which one is like which part of the Redux slice is which part of a normal use state, considering like you guys already know the normal use state. So I just want to give some sort of ease the difference out. All right. So in the reducer, we will actually create two functions that will handle all our user activity. One of them is going to be set active user, right? And then we'll have the state and an action. Nope, not even worked on, not even one dark pro. Nope, not at all. Okay. And in here, what I will do is just state that user name is equal to action dot payload dot username. Okay, so what's happening here? Because now it's getting confusing. And you know what? I'll make it a little bit more confusing. So state dot user email equals action dot payload dot user email. Okay. I gotta go sleep because it's too late. See you in another stream. Yes, see you soon. See you soon. Bye-bye. All right, so what I will do now, once I'm plugging back my headphone, so now this one is actually going to go ahead and give the value in here. Okay. So this is the set username and set email part of these states. Okay. Especially this line of code is this one. Okay. I hope this is actually understandable how I'm trying to explain it. Make sure, let me know in the chat if it is. Because actually this sort of analogical thinking helped me a ton understanding how Redux works. So I just want to help you guys with that. And and once we are signing the user out, we will have the set user logout state, and it will just set everything to null. Okay. So let me know, guys, if it was a good explanation how I explained it. So we have once again the initial state, which is defined over here. Boom. And we also have this line of code, which is the set username. The only difference is going to be global. And again, here is the set user logout state. Okay, we got the like. So that's good. All right. And so once again, let me know if you guys understand it and if everything is cool. So let's continue. And And now what you need to do, okay, so we have these sort of actions. This is actually an action, okay? And the action is going to contain that internal setting function, okay? So in order for to work with these setter functions, we will need to actually export them. And yeah, so let's do that right now. So I'll just go ahead, copy this one, paste it, copy that one, paste that here, and we should be good to go. Which theme? I will have another video explaining a ton of these extensions. Make sure to watch that and you will know which theme. So now that I have those exported, I can go ahead and use them in other components, okay? Two more things we need to make happen in here is actually this part of the state, okay? So if you have already used state, you know what this part is. This part is the one that returns the actual value of that specific state, okay? So that will be a super easy one, as easy as exporting a const, which is going to be select username. And that will go ahead and use the state and just grab the user's state and the username from that specific state. Okay. So that's how this one works. And this line of code will be responsible for that piece of the code. So let's do the exact same thing with the user email. Yes, I will explain user slice one time more. Okay. So once again, we have all this stuff and we have the normal use state, okay? So how is the normal use state build up? Actually, I'll add the other one as well. So we have user email and set user email equals use state null. So we have these two specific use states, right? This is how you would do in a normal way with a use state. But because we are using Redux, we will do it the Redux way. That's why we have to have this user slice, something that actually takes care of all these manipulations and all that kind of stuff. So this has an access function that is actually peeking into the state and grabs out the value, right? And we also have a setter function that does the same, but it actually manipulates the value. And we have this initial value thing. So it's like declaring the variable and just giving it a value right away. So next up, so that's what happens in here, okay? So that's this part. Next up, we will define how we want this to happen. It's just pretty much just defining that specific function. So what we do is we have the set active user as a action, okay? And inside of there, we would just mutate the username, okay? We will just give it a new value. It's like saying set username and give in the action.payload. It's the exact same thing down here, but when we call this function, both of these lines run. And all we need to do, all we have left to do is this piece, which is actually going to be responsible for shooting in and grabbing the value back and just returning the value. And that is going to be the select username. Guys, at this point, I want everybody to go ahead and just copy it and then just have this this code with them. And from now on, we will use Redux a ton more times. So you will have plenty of time to understand it, all right? So we have user slice, and now going back to app.js, we will go ahead and import all the stuff that we have prepared for now. So first, we will have to import the auth and then the provider from FireBase, right? Because that's what will be responsible for authenticating the user. Next up, we will be importing something called useDispatch and useSelector from the React Redux library. And that's what we'll take care of, actually giving a new value to the specific state and grabbing back that specific, like reading that value, that state's value. Okay. And now, because we have exported all these stuff, we definitely need to import them. And that's how we will be able to access it over here. And whichever component you want to go ahead and access that specific slice, you will need to import those. So let's import. So we have a set active user. We will set user logout state. Select username or user email first. And we will import it from features and user slice. All right, dope. So once again, we have declared all this stuff. This one is responsible for giving a new value to that specific state. This one as well, we're just defining some sort of how we should be working with that. We are giving an exact value over here, which is going to be null, because at this point the user has already logged out. At this point we are reading the value of that specific state, and in here we are passing in whatever we want to set it as a value. And obviously at the point of declaration we need to give it an initial state. So that's what happens there. Dope. Going back to the app.js file, we will do a few different things. So on the JavaScript part of the component, we will just go ahead and say const dispatch equals useDispatch. That's it. That's the tool that we are going to be using to set a new value to that specific state that we will be manipulating. All right. And then now we will need to save in a variable of those. We need to read out the state, the current state of both states, into a variable. So that for that we will have a username, which is going to be which we will use selector for, and we will just go ahead and select the name, and we will do the same for the user email. That will be useSelector. useSelector, and for that we will be saying select user email. Hey, what's up, Mohammed? So with that said, now we will be handling the user authentication based on what's happening. So for that, we will have a conditional rendering going on over here. So if there is a username, right? So the initial state, remember, it is a null, so it's obviously false right now. But at that point, we want to have a button in the true part. which is going to be sign out. So if there is a username, which there is not at this moment, then we want to have a button which will fire off a function on click, which is going to be handle sign out. Next up, we will also have another button. Button. Come on. Yeah. So for that, we will have another button, which is going to be the sign in button. And on click, that will fire off the handle sign in function. So those two we need to declare right now. So we will have a const handle sign in. That will do something. Let's just actually write out everything beforehand so we can go ahead and work with that after all. All right. And once that's done, we will make a new one, which is going to be handle sign out. And that will do another stuff. So notice we've already imported this stuff right here. Can you record the live for references? Yes, by the way, this is actually being recorded at this moment, and we have an amazing video editor at our team who's a professional, and he is going to chop up this whole thing. So no worries, we will upload this again in a much shorter version without all the audience engagement. So no worries, we will have a structured, super short version. Right now, we're just hanging out, having some fun, having some good time. I am ready to accept any kind of suggestion moving forward. So yeah, this is a feel-good session. We're building some stuff here, but that's all. Yes, we will have a stripped out version, a shorter version for the YouTube channel. So back to the build. Let's actually handle the sign out first. So it is actually going to be auth.sign out and then we will be just dispatching, and we will say set user logout state. Right? So this is what happens. All right, so what happens here first, auth.signout. This is FireBase, okay? This is when we will terminate the user session of being logged in. At this point, the user is not logged in anymore, but we still need to handle it in our application, right? So for that, we use something called dispatch, which is a tool that we use to kind of like shoot in Redux. It's a weird way to say it, but it's what it is. It's more like dispatching into Redux and just letting the global state know that, hey, the user is already out. It would be good to set back everything to null, right? So we will run these 2 lines of code. That's what will happen. All right, and that will empty out the active user state. So that's good at that point. And next up, once we are cool with that, we might as well want to go ahead and catch some sort of errors that might happen. So we will say catch. Oh my God. Yeah, Microsoft Visual Studio. By the way, guys, does anybody know any other kind of text editor that is better than VS Code and has all these extensions? Because I want to move away from using VS Code, honestly. So whatever, so catch, we want to go ahead and catch any kind of errors that we might see. So for that, we will just add an alert, yes. And we will want to display the error message. All right. That's not a good answer. I wanna leave VS Code, honestly. All right, so in case there is some sort of error, then we will just display. Bro, come on. Dang. Okay. Errors as comments. Oh, you mean this one? Yeah. So this is actually, once again, will be covered in my top 10 VS Code extensions. Let's spell the name. Top 10 VS Code extensions in 2021 that will help you become a better developer. I have a video coming up, but this one is actually error lens. So make sure, go ahead, check it out. But I will have it, I'll show around how is it working and all that stuff. So stay tuned for that. Dope. So we have the sign out already done. And now we want to make sure that the user can actually log in as well. So what we will do is just auth dot sign in with pop-up, because we like the pop-up. Come on, Notepad++, really? Dude. Okay, provider. So what happens here is that we are telling the FireBase authentication service that pop up a new window and just use the specific provider that we just created, which is in this case is going to be Google. Okay, that's all. And then we will obviously have some sort of result, right? In case it is, in case everything's working. And next up, now this is again a moment when we want to kind of like take a look into and peek into Redux and just manipulate a specific state. That's when we will say, once again, dispatch set active user, and we will just throw in name, email, and that's it. Actually, I think we want to throw in user name and user email, okay? Because that's what we are waiting for right over here. So once again, the username is going to be set the action payload username, and actually this is the action payload, okay? So whatever we are passing in is actually the payload. Sometimes these sort of props are being called payload, especially at this point. So amazing, we have that done, and now we should be actually able to have a working application, which is not the best user experience, but is something. All right, something's up, not a problem. Yeah, so the last thing before we can actually make it work is we need to go into store.js. So store.js is the file that takes care of all these global states and just has them in a centralized place, okay? So for that, to actually make sure that it is here, we'll just go ahead and say user reducer, right? That's going to be from, imported from a folder above in features in user slice, okay? So that's going to be this snippet of code, because actually Redux is a pain in the ass to set up, but with this specific library, everything is so much easier. But this one interacts with Redux, so we need to import everything in here. And we will have a reducer, which is going to be the user, and we will just pass in the user reducer. All right, with that said, let's take a peek how it is. And there we go. There we have our sign in button. So that looks good so far. If I go ahead and click that, it actually pops up my new window, which is going to be active right now. And now if I'm gonna just go ahead and log in, that's amazing. We are good. And right now it actually shows sign out. So that is actually something that indicates that we already have the value saved. Now let's take a look at it using Google Chrome, because guys, even though I hate Chrome has so many better extensions, once again, just like VS Code. So again, let's go to localhost, and we should be good. And guys, we have 5 minutes left sort of this stream, so now stick till the end and we should be done very, very soon. So I'm just gonna go hit inspect, and if you have the Redux developer extension for Chrome, then this is what will pop up. And if I go ahead and hit sign in, wait a little, then go ahead, sign in with my user. Come on, I'm not sure what my password is. Okay, good. And we'll just sign in with that one, right? So you see here that the set active user, this is what happens. The username is going to be rewritten from null to David Rakosi, okay? Don't use this email to email me. I will be mad. And if I go ahead and hit sign out, then it sets the logout state and it goes back to sign in, and everything is gonna be set back to null. Now, guys, I will have this video chopped up by a professional video editor in our team, and will be uploaded again as a normal video to this very channel. So make sure to stick around for that. We will be dropping it tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, sometimes around that. But we will have a summarized, a so much faster version of it, this specific video. So, and under that one, I will have a GitHub repository linking to this specific project. And guys, let me know now in the chat if you guys have any sort of questions regarding this project, because now I will be waiting a little and answering any kind of questions you might have. So make sure to drop them in the chat right now, because I will be answering those questions. All right, and so make sure, drop your questions, drop anything that you drop any kind of questions that you might have. Frank Smith says thank you so much for sticking around for so long. By the way, if somebody watched the whole thing, just drop a snail emoji, okay? Just let me know if you watch the whole hour and everything happening here, okay? Just let me know. I can't wait for the recording because I came late. All good, bro. All good. Actually, you can watch this one as well. Yes, I will explain use dispatch in just a second. So you can watch this one as well right after I sign off, and so you don't have to wait for the recording, okay? The recording is only going to be good if you want to use it as a later reference or later as a explanation or something. Okay, so Frank Smith asked, can you explain use dispatch a little bit? So imagine this. Okay, Deepak sending 2 snails. Guys, drop a snail emoji if you watch the whole thing. So use dispatch. It's kind of like the communication tunnel between Redux and your application, okay? So when you are giving a new value to that specific state, you will use dispatch to push that actual value in the state. Okay, does it make sense? Let me know. It's kind of like passing in as a prop. So there's two ways that you can look into the state. One of them has only read permission, that's the use selector, and the other one has write permission only. So so use dispatch, you don't use it to read whatever the value of that state is, but for use selector, you only use it to read that specific value. Okay. All right. Amazing. Thank you so much. Sam Code says love the work rate, great content, amazing. Thank you so much for sticking around. All right, I only saw 2 snails. That means nobody was here at the beginning. That's a problem. All right, with that said, guys, thank you so much for sticking here and watching this thing. I really hope you enjoyed. Please let me know in the comment now down below. Now, no more. I'm not going to read any more of the chat. Let me know in the comments down below how you liked it and what you guys want us to build next. Also, there is a link, an Airtable link in the description where you can request us build something for you. Today's video was actually brought to you by somebody in the chat who already asked for this content, so we made it. You guys can see that we build what you want and what you want to see. So with that said, thank you so much for joining. This is David from Clever Programmer, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.